weird ass week. Weird ass week in wrestling.
I feel like a good ass week for WWE.
Good week for sure, but also a weird week. Like, we can't deny the weirdness of what's going on. And there's nothing weirder than what's going on with The Rock. That's the only place to begin. It's obviously the biggest headline grabbing piece of news that's happened in the last week. The Rock has returned and has asked the champion
Hey, no,
Cody Rhodes.
He doesn't want that. He wants your soul.
He has asked Cody Rhodes for his soul.
He wants his soul, bruh. How is he gonna get that? Exactly.
I mean, if we take it in like a literal sense, it obviously gets pretty weird, pretty fast. It gets pretty strange.
He wants his soul, bruh.
I don't think we have to.
He's looking him straight in the eye.
He was.
I want your soul.
It's not the first time that there's been a little bit of tension, a little bit of sus tension between The Rock and Cody. Obviously, the Raw after Mania, I believe it was this last year, there was the whole I'll touch yours if you touch mine, or whatever the fuck kind of thing that he was doing.
He's looking at the title of this shit.
Yeah, so there's been some weird stuff with The Rock and Cody.
So what happened with
already.
that title too? That fool just dropped it, not.
And yeah, for real, that whole like People's Champ belt is just gone now, I guess. Because I mean, this isn't even. I get it's like not the same final boss.
It's
you know what I
different final
mean?
boss,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's the before final, like semi-final boss. Is he the semi-final boss?
This is a different form final boss, I guess you can call it, bro. It's like
I don't know.
Devil / fucking CEO double boss.
It's very
Final
strange. Boss. Like, obviously, like I think a lot of people have been kind of over dramatizing the whole like I want your soul thing. As far as like what does it mean? What does it mean? Like to me, I think it's pretty obvious what he means. Like he wants him to be the corporate champ, the heel champ, doing The Rock's bidding. You know what I mean? That's all pretty obvious. I think what's more weird to me, the reason why I'm so confused by it, is like, what the fuck is The Rock doing anymore? I guess that was the thing I came away from it thinking was like, yeah, it's interesting, I guess, to see where this is going to take Cody's Mania storyline and everything like that, but like he's coming out doing the typical final boss entrance, looking like he's going to give us kind of that heel shit, but then he starts shaking hands with kids and doing all that on the way to the ring. So now I'm thinking, okay, babyface Rock is gonna come out and drop the news about WrestleMania in New Orleans and all that stuff. Cool, whatever. And then like throughout the promo, he's dropping these weird like he's singing the New Orleans Saints song, and tells them to shut up while he's singing it and shit. Like, what the fuck? That's weird. You're singing the song of the town and then expecting them not to join in and sing with you.
I fucked up final boss.
And then he was like, oh, okay, you got me. That was pretty good. You guys got me. Like, okay, like, I don't understand. Are you trying to, like, be against the crowd or with the crowd? It was weird. And then he's in the middle of talking about some other shit and starts screaming about STDs and syphilis and all this other stuff. It's like, dude, what are we doing here? So I guess that's kind of what I'm here. I want to ask in your opinion, is The Rock a heel or a babyface? And then the follow-up question to that is, does it even fucking matter?
He's supposed to be a heel, but he's being a very garbage fucking heel. He's just placing himself in a story that doesn't make sense right now. And I felt the same for WrestleMania. I felt like I told you that when we talked about it last year. I'm like, bro, why is the fucking Rock in that shit, bro? Like, why is he getting involved in shit like that? What the fuck is all this shit about? But even before the Cody Rhodes shit.
I feel like it started to make itself... Like, yes, at first it was weird. It was confusing because he was just stealing the main event from Cody. But it made sense over time because The Rock fully locked into that heel mode, was going against Cody, and yeah, like, joined up with Roman to kind of make it that, like... mountain that is impossible to climb. It was a good thing.
It was like, I fucked with it 100%, but I was just like, okay, why'd you like just insert yourself into this shit, bro? And he's doing the same shit again now, bro.
Yeah. It is becoming a thing now over the last couple years. Like, okay, Mania season, The Rock is just gonna kind of jump in here somewhere.
You think he's gonna bump the numbers real quick?
I guess, yeah. I just don't understand. Last year, the final boss at least made sense. Yes, you're right. Like the first few weeks, it was weird because there was the whole, stealing the main event from Cody, and then the "We Want Cody" movement, and this weird middle ground of not.
Mm-hmm.
But the Vegas press conference, if you remember, where they did the whole like Bloodline PowerPoint presentation, and then everyone comes out, like Cody, Seth came out, interrupted the whole thing, and then I think it was either The Rock slapping Cody. Yeah,
No.
The Rock slapped Cody because Cody said some shit about The Rock's family, some shit like that.
And then Seth Rollins tried to go flicking.
Yeah, they all started going after each other and stuff. I think starting at that press conference and everything after that was like 10 out of 10 amazing heel work from The Rock. Like that's when he really dialed up the final boss character to another level. And everything after that was phenomenal. Like, that was a great, great WrestleMania build. I just feel like right now, because The Rock's character is so undefined, we're in kind of that, like, weird period before the press conference last year where we don't really know how to feel about The Rock right now. Because, yes, like, the fans in attendance are always going to pop initially for The Rock because it's The Rock. Mm-hmm. Everyone is always excited to see The Rock, especially in person. But then he goes off in these weird directions where us fans at home that are nerds trying to break down the story and analyze this shit are confused. Who is this guy? Like, is he still... Yeah, is he still this piece of shit, like evil?
At the end of that one fucking PLE where he just fucking came out and just fucking stared into fucking... And it was supposed to be tied into the bloodline shit, but he just...
And none of that has even been mentioned. Like, now that he's even back appearing here and there, that hasn't even been talked about. At least some of the other stuff, like the debut Raw Netflix episode where people criticized that promo for not being great, at least he tried to tie it in on this last promo about, The Rock called you a great champion, The Rock thinks you're a great champion, but you could be better, all that type of shit. Like, at least in that way, they're trying to tie stuff in. But yeah, the bad blood shit from last year has just been totally, like, ignored ever since it happened. I guess I'm just really curious. I wanted to talk about it and try and figure out where we're at. It feels like we're both in a similar spot as far as...
Why?
Yeah, like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, I don't know. In a way, I guess maybe that's a good thing because it does have me pretty interested for Elimination Chamber to see. Like, I'm pretty positive that Cody's gonna decline the offer. That part I'm not as skeptical about, but I'm curious to see like what the backlash. Like, how is The Rock gonna react when Cody more than likely declines the offer and says I'm not? Is he gonna attack Cody? Is Roman gonna come out and get involved? Like, what? Where is this gonna go? From here, I have absolutely no idea. But I do think that, I guess, to kind of move it forward a bit, the interesting part about it is, now that the offer is out there, even though I think Cody's going to decline, I still think there's a chance that someone else ends up being The Rock's corporate champion. Maybe not the champ initially, but like kind of The Rock's guy that ends up going after Cody and maybe even ends up being the person that dethrones Cody at like SummerSlam or some shit down the line. Maybe even at Mania if they bring out someone. But I guess my question to you is, do you have anyone in mind that you would like to see be The Rock's mini final boss? Like, I've seen online a lot of people throwing out the idea of wanting to see maybe like a Cena heel turn in his final year, or CM Punk finally aligning with the corporation type of thing.
And that's the thing I've been seeing, like, on Twitter. People say, oh, like, supposedly in the fucking written script, it's going to be Cody v. John Cena and shit like that. And one of them is going to have to be heel or whatever. They're going into it and shit.
So that could be a way to get there, is if Cena, like loses at the Chamber and then starts to crash out or something, or, like, The Rock has to help him win or some shit like that, Would you want to see that? Are you interested in that?
Yeah, it would be interesting to see the two biggest baby faces on the fucking since fucking
Hogan shit.
Yeah, man, fuck, bro.
Yeah.
So,
But
even
with
if
one of them as a heel, though, you want to see Cena like aligning with The Rock and going on this like final boss.
who knows, even Cody, bro.
See, I'm just under the assumption Cody's not aligning with The Rock. I just don't see it.
You're a fan base. You're a big fan.
Well, yeah, obviously I'm a Cody mark, but I just don't even think it just doesn't I see, yes, that like Cody has had the weight of the championship on him, and he's been kind of slipping a bit into some more heelish tendencies lately.
You
However,
saw he talked shit to Seth earlier today.
yes. But still, I don't. To me, I don't see it. I feel like Cody is so valuable as a babyface, and to me, you can continue to play this story of like him being in the gray area, like to just push him all the way to be aligning with The Rock and trying to get to Mania with Cody as a heel when we're already about 2 months out from Mania. I feel like that's a bit much. I don't know. To me, it makes more sense. And to me, Cody is at his best when he's going against that insurmountable, crazy villain heel character, like up against a Roman or a Rock kind of guy. Or KO when he was going crazy, crashing out, leading up to the Rumble. I think that's peak Cody. So I do feel like we end up with The Rock potentially having someone else be his kind of surrogate, his kind of guy. I'm thinking, obviously, Roman makes sense. Bloodline shit. Understandable.
Jacob, maybe.
Jacob would be an awesome choice, but I don't think they're going to pull the trigger on something like that. I get where people are coming from with the Punk stuff and the Cena stuff, that it would be really interesting. And I wouldn't hate it, but I don't think it's the best choice. Can I tell you what interests me the most? And it's a little bit left field. But if I had my choice of anyone to be the final boss's kind of advocate, wrestler, whatever you want to call it, I think there's a really interesting story to tell with Drew McIntyre.
No, he would not work with the Bloodline, bro.
And that's why it's so fascinating to me, is because he's been so it's the whole. This is where I come. I know it sounds crazy, but just let me pitch you and see if I can change your mind. Can't beat him, join him. Not just join him in the sense that like, oh, I'm aligning with Roman and I'm joining the Bloodline. Fuck all that. Skip that level. This is now the final boss, who's not just, yes, aligned with the Bloodline, which he has his own beef with, but it's also the board member at TKO, as he said in these promos, like the most powerful man in WWE. Drew McIntyre being the kind of always forgotten, always second place like character in WWE that he's been over the last few years. Someone who's built his whole persona and identity around wanting to be that top guy, feeling like he deserves it, but that everyone else is to blame and screwing him over. He's the guy who would go back on all his previous morals and say, yeah, I know I said fuck the Bloodline, all this other shit, but now this guy's offering me a free pass to the top. I'm going to take it because I deserve it and I've been fucked over all these times. Like, I know it's wild, but because of how good Drew is, I feel like he could flip it in a way that's like, I tried destroying these people for so long, no one else would help me, no one else would listen, so now I'm going to join and make it even worse than it's ever been, and now I'm on top and you're all going to have to deal with me. I feel like that could be a really interesting story. Part of the reason why I'm pitching it is because Drew McIntyre is in kind of no man's land right now with his story leading into Mania. There's not really much going on. And I think that he's had just such a phenomenal last like 12 to 18 months. And to kind of burn that momentum at this Mania would be unfortunate for me. And I think that everyone else of these big, massive babyface names that are being mentioned, there's pretty easy ways, in my opinion, to kind of shoehorn all of them into Mania and no one's going to complain. Because they're all very much top guys with a lot of cachet with the audience. I think Drew is kind of still in a place, as great as he is, with all due respect, that he still needs something to kind of solidify him with the more casual fans. coming off of that Punk feud last year. And I think him already is one of the top heels in the company and elevating himself that next level up by aligning with The Rock. I think it'd be really interesting. I was like almost on the train of Drew winning the Rumble. Oof. And, you know, like we've talked about Drew a lot on this show throughout this whole year for the first couple months of 2025. And so far, unfortunately, I have to say it's been a rough year for Drew McIntyre. And I guess that's why part of me is just like hoping that we can find a way to get him into something that feels like it matters, because I just know for a fact, give Drew McIntyre the ball, good things happen. You know, like he's one of those guys. And so I just want to see him in that position. I think it'd be interesting. Yeah, man. Mm-hmm. Scottish Warrior and the final boss. Why not? Why fucking not?